Okay, why?
Because I wasn't pressing.
Oh. Welcome back, everybody, to this week's video. I will be covering sleep because almost everybody has something wrong with their sleep. It's the thing that people come in with second most probably to stress, whether that's their main concern or it's just something that they also have going on. So I wanted to touch on it a little bit about what could be going on if you do have sleep issues and what are some things that you can do about it. So we know sleep is absolutely foundational. There's a couple of reasons why that's true. One, it helps with muscle regeneration and that mind-body integration. It helps with immune function. It helps with our overall mood and kind of ability to cope with stress, our memory and brain health, and it's just nice. I really like to sleep. So how much sleep do we really need? Previously we thought 7 hours was enough sleep. Now they're finding in the research that 8 to 9 is actually more accurate. And I hear a lot of the time, like, I can function off of 5 hours sleep. But I encourage you to try adding a couple more hours in there and just see if you can function at an even better level, at an optimal level. Because even if you're not seeing the side effects of sleep deprivation now, I guarantee you it will catch up with you. So if you can get it in now, do it. Something like 95% of people think they can function off of less than 7 hours of sleep, and I would venture to guess 100% of people can't. Yeah, I know. I used to go to sleep so late and wake up early to study in high school. So melatonin is a hormone that the pineal gland in the brain produces in response to darkness that helps us fall asleep and stay asleep. Melatonin is something that we can produce on our own, although it's supplemented with a lot. So in order to produce melatonin on our own, we need a couple of things. One, we need the amino acid tryptophan, which is famously in turkey, which is why people think that if you eat a lot of turkey, you get sleepy, but it's in a lot of different things. Tryptophan isn't the only thing you need, though. You also need magnesium and certain B vitamins, so making sure that you're adequately nourished is really, really important in the whole sleep-wake cycle. Now, cortisol, which is our stress hormone, has a really intimate connection with melatonin, and the two kind of have a very close relationship. So that means that if you're stressed out, your sleep isn't as great, which we can kind of gather. But on the same side of that, if your sleep isn't great, it can aggravate stress for you. So if you're having some trouble sleeping, here's some things to consider. The first is age and life stage. Specifically, menopause is notoriously bad for stress. No, maybe, but menopause is notoriously bad for sleep. And this is for a couple of reasons. The main one being the overall hormonal load goes down when you're going through menopause, so that being like estrogen and progesterone. But specifically, progesterone is the hormone responsible for helping you stay asleep. And so when that goes down, women often find themselves waking up throughout the night, which can be extremely, extremely frustrating. So there are a couple of things you can do to help that. One is having herbs that help to support progesterone and the production of progesterone. The other is bioidentical hormones, which you can talk to your healthcare practitioner about. The second reason that you might be having trouble either falling asleep or staying asleep, this reason is more likely staying asleep, is blood sugar. So you go so many hours without eating. Let's say 2 a.m. is the time that you wake up often, and you haven't eaten for, 8 hours. So your blood sugar starts to dip. When your blood sugar dips, your body releases cortisol, which is again your stress hormone, in response to help kind of compensate, and that wakes your body up. So if you're waking up consistently at the same time over and over and over again, blood sugar is definitely something to look into, and that can be easily remedied by having a small protein or fat-rich snack prior to bed, like nuts and seeds would be a good option. So cortisol is another factor to consider. Cortisol itself, which again is our stress hormone, can directly impact sleep. Normally, we wake up in the morning, our cortisol is high. It's what helps us jump out of bed so eagerly, right? And then throughout the day, it starts to slowly go down. By nighttime, ideally, it's low. It helps you get into a deep sleep, and it stays low all night, and then it happens again. It spikes in the morning. This doesn't often happen for a couple of different reasons, which I won't get into right now. But what can happen is cortisol ends up being low in the morning for people, so it's a real struggle to get out of bed. It might stay low or spike and go back down during the day, giving them lulls in energy, and then it actually goes up at night, preventing people from getting a restful sleep. So anxiety and a restless mind can be another reason, which probably isn't terribly shocking for people, especially if you do have sleep issues. It's that busy mind going to sleep, trying to shut the brain off just to fall asleep, or waking up at night with a million thoughts running through your brain, feeling like I can't shut off my brain, and now I'm awake for an hour, 2 hours, or maybe even the rest of the night. The best thing that I find to help deal with this is the practice of mindfulness, so bringing the mind back to one specific thought, or just kind of calming it down from the million things that are usually running through your brain. So I'll suggest to people to do either an app or a mindfulness activity or meditation or whatever it is that suits you prior to bed to kind of prime the brain to get into that habit already. The last one that I'm going to talk about today is screens. Blue light is emitted from screens, whether that's your TV, your phone, your computer, whatever it is, and blue light signals to our brain, don't release melatonin, it's daytime, you still have to stay awake. So we have trouble either falling asleep or staying asleep. So I think you get where I'm going with this. Turn off screens about a half an hour before going to bed to allow the brain to understand it's nighttime and prepare for bed. So there are many herbs that you can use to help fall asleep and stay asleep. Some of my favorites are passion flower, which is so lovely, valerian, which can be kind of intense, so be careful. Kava also can be intense. So those are a couple examples of herbs that I might use with patients who are having trouble with sleep onset or sleep maintenance. But make sure that you're understanding why you're having issues falling or staying asleep, because herbs can be used as a crutch just like pharmaceuticals might be used. So always understanding what's going on in the body and treating it that way. Thank you guys for watching this week. I will be putting up another one next week. If you have any questions or specific requests for future videos, please don't hesitate to contact me. Go to the website, my Instagram, whatever it is, and let me know what you'd like. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week. Bye.